The Stock of the Day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. Trade over 17,000 markets with extended trading hours on key US shares and competitive spreads, all on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.
And you cannot today look past our stock of the day, stock number one on the list, stock number one, some say, in the world, and that is Nvidia. So we saw Wall Street's major indices advancing to two-week highs overnight, led by a rally in tech stocks. And that was ahead of an Nvidia earnings report, which came after the bell. When it came, shares rose further. The chipmaker reported record $68.1 billion in revenue in the fourth quarter, driven by data center revenue, which was up 75% from a year ago. The world's most valuable company expects fiscal first quarter sales of $78 billion, with January quarter sales of more than $68 billion. As I said, shares were up more than 3% in extended trade. Although, in fairness, you can see, it can be a volatile stock on the day. And of course, it has been at the mercy of some of the sentiment toward the AI trade. But let's get a view on the stock of the day first from Lachlan Hughes from Swell Asset Management. Lachlan, when we talk about a buy, hold, sell, is it possible to buy Nvidia still and look for capital growth upside?
I think it is, Nadine. We're very early in AI enterprise adoption. It doesn't feel like that because I guess the hype cycle has been running hot for a long time, but I still believe we're in the very early innings in AI enterprise adoption. And if you look at Nvidia, they really are the one you'd want to own. They have a full stack platform. It's GPUs, it's switching, and it's their software, CUDA, which is sort of the software to use if you are in the industry. So look, they've got an incredibly strong moat. It's a stock that, when you look at the, I think like Elfrida mentioned a second ago, but they did $130 billion in revenue in 2025, and that's going to expected to be over $200 billion this year. And you can't really comprehend how big these numbers are. It's just something we've never seen before. But then you come back and you look at the fundamentals of the business, look at the earnings growth, and despite it trading on a reasonable multiple, we still expect significant EPS growth over the next few years. So on that basis, if you're looking at the valuation relative to the growth, it looks okay. And I think if you want to buy into the AI story, this is probably the safest way to do it. And the outlook is very good for Nvidia.
So that is a buy from Lachlan for Nvidia. Elfrida, again, is it the one you want to own? Perhaps, but can you pay today's price for it?
Yes, I think I do agree with quite a few points Lachlan made. I think it is the poster child of AI, and we all know the name. And fun fact, it is the biggest stock in the world at $4 trillion US, and in Aussie dollars, that's 6.6 trillion. So that's sort of twice the size of the whole ASX market. But if you take a step back and you look at this massive revenue generation of this company, they're growing revenues 50-60%, they're growing earnings 60-70%, and they are now trading at a forward P of 25 times. That is not a very expensive price to pay for a stock that's still growing that much. What we do like about this company is not just because they're at the forefront of GPUs and has got by far the best quality, the fastest, and the fact that they are already so entrenched in so many businesses. So one thing they do is they do hardware, but also software. And that makes them a lot more integrated into businesses. So you also have that servicing situation going on later on, and then they continue to roll out new versions of these chips, and what we're seeing now is even for their next generation chips, you already have their clients booking well ahead. So we definitely see the path of more earnings upgrades here and good growth. I think if you take a step back from a portfolio construction perspective, it's been the first AI stock and the poster child, as I said, and it's done incredibly well. We at Alphinity, we've been in the stock for quite a long time, but what we have been doing over the last few months is we have been taking profits in Nvidia, as well as in some of the other Mag 7s, those early beneficiaries, and where you can actually get more alpha in our view is probably in those stocks down the AI ecosystem. Things like ASML, we're going to talk about SK Hynix, for example, but there are a lot of stocks that will benefit from this continuous AI build out that is not as well known, that is not as big, and does not have as big expectations surrounding it. So for us, Nvidia, in a portfolio construction perspective, is a hold.
Okay, I'm going to say hold for that one.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Trade over 12,000 shares and ETFs, including major tech giants with extended hours on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.